Hello everyone, happy Earth Day to you. It is Megan from the Putnam County Library, but not at the Putnam County Library today. I'm actually at home in my crafting area because we are doing our now annual upcycled Earth Day book crafts. So it's easier for me to do everything where I have everything. So here we are at my house. So today, throughout Earth Day, we've been celebrating with programming all day. So if you missed our 10 o'clock and our noon program, they are available on our Facebook video library. So Michelle from the Department of Highways this morning talked about our waterways and the importance of keeping our waterways clean and picking up our trash and, recycling what we can, reducing use of what we can't recycle, and just, how to be better stewards of our Earth. And then at noon, Miss Bethany did some wonderful Earth Day story time. So if you missed those, go ahead and go back and check those out. We are crafting live, so hopefully all of this goes well. But I'm going to try this and see if it works kind of crafter. So if it doesn't go quite like I imagined, that's okay. That's how things go sometimes. So as we've been talking all throughout our Earth Day programs, kind of what we would like to do to do our part to be better stewards of the Earth. So my part is drinking not only more water, this is lemon flavored water, but I like sparkly water. So I actually got one of those machines that sparkles your water for you, so I'm not using all of those cans or bottles. I'm reusing the one plastic bottle and making the fizz throughout. So that's my pledge to be a better Earth steward. And also to reuse some of the things that we have lying around. So you may think, why are you ripping up books, Megan? You're a librarian. Well, as in gardening and as in most things in life, things have a time and a season. And at the library, we do call it weeding. And that fits in with our, kind of gardening and growing things. Sometimes a book outlives its usefulness. Maybe there's this is Homer, this is the Odyssey. Maybe there's a newer translation or a better translation, or this has been damaged. There are many reasons to have old books lying around, or if they're in your own old library, maybe they've aged, the pages have yellowed, they're harder to read. So these are like perfect books to do crafts with. I'm not saying go out and buy a brand new book and rip it up. That's not what we would do. But if the choice is this book has outlived its usefulness, throw it away, or maybe create something new with it, we try to create something new with it. So I have a couple different types of books here, but some of my favorites. So like I said, this is an older translation of the Odyssey, and some interesting maps in here that you could pull out and decorate with. So anyway, so those are kind of what we're going to be using in some of our crafts as we go along today. So last year, on our first Earth Day crafting with Megan, we made paper hydrangeas, which is one of my favorite crafts because it kind of it's very relaxing kind of once you get into it. It's a lot of repetition, but you can kind of meditate a little while you're doing that. So I like to do things like that. So that's our paper hydrangea. It doesn't matter how big my craft space is, I always run out of room. So that was me tossing that. So to do that quickly, I do have a little paper cutter here, and I've got some old book pages out of an old favorite romance novel, and then we glued it to this little ball here. So that's how you make the paper hydrangeas. Like I said, the tutorial from last year is still up. And we also made these little paper trees, because when you cut the little flowers out, you get all these strips of paper left. And again, we're trying to use every little bit. So I took the strips of paper and then made the little trees. So if you just can't picture ripping up a book, there are pages you can buy, like from your local craft store, that do kind of represent book pages, and you can use those instead. But we are using books that no longer have a place either at the library. You can get books in the book sale, the used book sale. So you're helping your library in multiple ways when you use books like that for your crafting. So today we're going to do some stencil art. and we're going to Mod Podge some terracotta pots. So we're going to turn our camera a little bit more towards the desk so you can see what I'm doing. And like I said, since we're live, you can ask me questions in the chat, and I'll keep an eye on that and answer them as I can. And if you're watching this on the replay and you have any questions about what we're trying to craft, go ahead and put them in, and we're always going back and checking those. So you can, go to your local craft store and buy a stencil. This is a nice spices and herbs. I like that for different things in my decor in my kitchen. I'm going to try to turn the light up just a little bit here so you can see a little better. There we go. So this is a stencil that I did buy, but I'm also going to show you how to make a stencil with some things you may be done with. And you can get a couple cheap canvases if you want to put it on a canvas, or our craft is, like I said, book pages. So what we're going to do, and I've got one prepped for us right here. So take an old clipboard. You may have those lying around. So I've put a couple book pages down. And then you're like, well, that looks like a manila folder, because it is a manila folder. So I do have some stencils that I bought, but I made this one. So, but I wanted to get it cut out beforehand because you all don't need to watch me cut things out. So I got I printed a stencil from the internet. So that's what it looks like. I just printed it on a book page, and then cut it out on the regular paper, and then took an old manila folder from, either I had a meeting or something and, had old files in here, but I don't need it anymore. So, you place your stencil down, and I did use an X-Acto knife, but you can use scissors, whatever you might need. So if you're crafting with your little ones, you probably want to do the cutting of the stencil to get ready for them. Or if you're just a bit of a clumsy adult, not unlike yours truly, you may want to have some help with that. I also have a cutting board, so I don't cut into my nice desk. So, make sure you know yourself, know your crafting style, and have all those things ready. So old manila folder, cutting board, and then you have a stencil. A trick I learned in college doing theater, so shout out to the Bethany College theater crew. When you just don't have a lot of extra money lying around to go buy stencils or wallpaper, and you need a set piece, this is what we did for wallpaper. We made our stencils and then did that. So I do just have your regular kind of craft paint colors here, and this is a nice sunflower. So, and the thing I like about crafting on the clipboard is not only will the clipboard kind of hang on your wall when you're done, instant art, but it also helps hold the stencil in place. And another thing I love about the clipboard is, you might get tired of the sunflower. Maybe you're just tired of flowers in general. You just change out the book pages and make a new craft. And you've got the clipboard as the background. All right, so I'm going to use a little sponge brush here to do my bright yellow of the sunflower, and then we'll use another one for the green of the stem. Now, here's my disclaimer. I'm a big messy crafter. I'm a big messy person in general. So it doesn't have to be perfect. And you'll notice I picked the sunflower because it does look kind of rustic. So my tracing skills don't have to be perfect. My cutting skills don't have to be perfect. If you are someone who enjoys precision, be as precise as you want to be. If you're someone who just likes to craft, to enjoy something and you're not really that interested, it's okay. Like, it can be rustic. It can be imperfect. We're all imperfect. A lot of people do use their crafting, as a side project, a way to bring in maybe some extra money. But, we don't have to monetize all of our relaxation techniques. So anyway, I'm a big messy crafter. So if it's not perfect, that's okay. We don't want to put on too much paint on, because we don't want to kind of flood the stencil area, but if you do, that's okay. Like I said, it is up to you and your artistic choices on how you want to do this. So we're just dabbing in I don't know, can you all see this? It's a little hard kind of at our angle, but that's part of the joys of some of this live amateur Facebooking. We are not professional filmographers. We're just having a good time and trying to do a little program. If we were together, you may not be able to see it if I had it down on a table up front, but we'll finish and then we'll hold it up and show everyone. So like I said, I liked the rusticness of this because if I do, miss some, if I do overpaint it or, kind of flood one of the stencil areas, or, if my cuts are not as perfect as, you would want a professional piece of art to be, that's okay. I feel a little like Bob Ross here. Happy little sunflower. And, there's no such thing as a mistake kind of in your art here. We're just having a good time. And we're just using some old material. So if you're just joining us and you didn't catch the beginning of the video, we're Earth Day crafting with some of our upcycled book pages, taking pages out of maybe books we've loved, and, the spine's broken or something, and you just, you don't have a place for it on your shelf anymore. Maybe you have a place for it on your wall. So let's dab some fun paint on some things, and let's try that. All right, so now we're going to do the green of the stem. So luckily I picked something with just 2 colors. That's a lot of pink there. So that one may be maybe a little thicker than the sunflower itself, but that's okay. Like I said, we're just having a good time here. All right. And you all are probably going to be better at this than I am, but like I said, I just like to try different things and to have fun with it. And you know what? If you do it and you don't like it after a while, that's what I do like about that clipboard backing. You can just put a fresh sheet of paper down and try it again. So good for adults, good for little ones, as long as the big kids are doing the cutting. Okay, so we've got our color down. So now for the moment of truth, we're going to gently kind of lift the clipboard there. Oh, yay! I like how that turned out. So, there is our sunflower on book pages. So, yeah, I think that turned out real nice. So, I did 2 pages to kind of fill out the clipboard, because I didn't have one that was big enough to fill up one page, to fill up, if I'd have done a bigger page, like a dictionary or something, that would have done the whole thing. But I like how that turned out. So that's just a little rustic sunflower to just do with, you can either, like I said, you can make your own stencil from patterns that you find on the internet, or, you can pick up one at any of your local craft stores. And I will say, in the spirit of kind of using everything again and not kind of wasting things, I'm putting down the paper that they wrapped our terracotta pots in. So that's my my protection for my desk. So so the paint doesn't get on it, and so I don't cut through things too. So yay! So we're using everything. So it's okay to buy things. It's okay. It's okay to buy new, but you can also try to find as many ways possible to reuse the stuff that you do have. So, all right. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm so excited. Yes, acrylic paint is nice because it's easy to clean up. That's a good tip, Bethany. And I have lots of paper towels here. Like I said, I'm a big messy crafter. I expected to make a mess, and that's okay. So anyway, we're not going to make this craft, but maybe next year we will. I do have an old picture frame. And some of those strips I was talking about saving from other crafts, when I cut out our little flowers for our little paper hydrangeas, I saved the strips. Kimberly is saying, and the Dollar Tree sells paint too. Right, none of this has to be expensive. You can buy as expensive of a paint as you want, or you can, like I said, go to the dollar store and pick up these easy to use paints. I love that. So anyway, so you can take, some of your glue, some of your Mod Podge we're about to get into, and you can just kind of paint little strips, and make a nice little picture frame. Actually, I don't have one to show you, but in some of my bigger picture frames that I like to put multiple pictures in. I'll put the book pages behind, kind of as a mat, and not worry about matting, but put that behind so I can put in smaller pictures maybe than the frame is, but have nice backing. Hi Landon, thanks for showing love for the crafts. I appreciate you all watching today. And like I said, I've got a little baby version here of, and this is one of the stencils I bought, and you can, any kind of clipboard, any kind of book page, any kind of stencil. It's just a fun little thing to do. So here's me continuing to throw things off camera. Can you all see well enough? I know, this format, like I said, it is a little tough to do, us home videographers that we all have to be, since we can't always be together at the moment. But we love coming to you this way, especially if you're live and you're giving us all the love and you're commenting, so we know you're here with us, so we appreciate that. So terracotta pots, we talk a lot about growing things, not only growing our knowledge, but but actually growing things. So if you don't know, at the main library, we have a seed library. You can come in and borrow seeds. And then if what you grow has seeds at the end, and you can bring those back to us, and we'll loan those out next year to people to grow things. And it can be you and your kid, just growing something small to learn how to grow things, or, come in and plant your garden with us. So, we have a partnership with our extension office. So thank you, Ben Goff, and everyone who works over at the extension office. And we have lots of seeds to give, and stop into the main library or any of your branches and make a request, and we will get you those seeds. So that's why I thought, we could do pots this year. Okay, Kimberly's saying, I used ball forms that I was giving, Mod Podge, and old book strips to make ornaments one year. Yes, I love book ornaments like that. Touch of glitter, and boom, you're good to go for your Christmas tree. So, I just picked up a $1 terracotta pot, from your craft store or from the dollar store. And I'll probably put, and maybe I'll just continue my book theme, and maybe I'll put my paper hydrangea in here. Or I'll make a little, a thing for succulents. I may do that in this pot. But you may also be able to, I think Mod Podge is non-toxic, so I'm not 100% sure, but you may be able to do your little, your herbs in here. So, I got one with the base, so I didn't want to cover, so this is just our example, but we'll actually do one together here. So I didn't want to cover the whole of the bottom in case I did actually want to grow anything in here. But, as you know, Mod Podge is a bit smelly, so I don't know if you can hear maybe a bit of the traffic sound. I do have my windows open in here, so I don't pass out on camera because of the paint or the glue fumes. So safety first, craft safety first. Make sure your windows are open and you're in a nicely ventilated area. So this is a mostly finished one. So you can cut pages to fit. You can just kind of slap things on there, which is kind of my the way I kind of do things. Aubrey's right. I love finding treasures at the antique stores to paint. Yes, one man's trash is another man's treasure. You can turn something you find at the yard sale into some fun craft thing for you, and it's the best thing ever. I don't know. Like I said, I'm in my spare room, and when I moved into the house, my dad had an old building, and he had all of these kind of antique, but from the 80s mirrors. So I have this thing I saved, from, I repainted it a little and repurposed it. So, and I know Miss Bethany, who's on here, loves a good repurposing. So we just are reusing things that are already here, to kind of cut down on buying new things. So anyway, here's our terracotta pot. So here, like I said, the Odyssey is one of my favorite books, so I have pages from the Odyssey here. But I'm not a precision crafter necessarily on things like this. Like I do cross stitch, and that's very precise because you have to stitch within the squares. But for this, I don't rip pages out of the book. Miss Katie was on earlier in the month with our blackout poetry, and she just, ripped them off, so it didn't matter if the edges were frayed. I did take my X-Acto knife and cut down the spine, because I do like my edges not frayed. So again, it's your personality. It's how you want to do things. So let's do one together, and you can see what I mean about precision and not, and and things like that. So put a nice base on kind of the surface area for your first bit of paper. And then I did a little into the pot because I am going over the top with our page. So, so here we are. And you're gonna get glue on you. I don't know a good way to not get glue on you when you're doing this. So I've got paint on me at the moment and glue, and that's okay. So you put it down with the glue you've put down for your first layer, and you know it's going to be a little wrinkled. It's going to be you know, a little smushed together, and then I just do one more kind of layer of glue over top of that because that also seals it. So Mod Podge, you know, it takes a while to cure. So the ones that I make today, in a couple weeks, I'll hit with some acrylic sealer to really kind of seal in that glue and to keep the paper where I want it. Okay, so there's our first. So then we're just going to keep going. And the thing, like, you don't want to get things too wet because it is paper and it will crumble on you. But I found as I was doing this is, you know, if things were starting to come off, or, you know, if my hand was too sticky and, you know, words came off, I just slapped another piece of paper on it and just made another layer. So you may not want to do that, but it worked for me. So to each his or her crafting own. So like I said, I'm not necessarily matching up. I'm kind of overlaying here, and just tucking it into the top, putting a layer underneath, and then doing a layer on top to kind of seal it down. So you just keep going until you're all the way through. So that is our Earth Day crafting. So does anybody have any questions on what we've done so far? Anything you might want to see for next year's craft? Because even if we're more in person, we will probably still join you in this format too, because it's been fun. So, you know, even as we move towards more in-person programming, we are going to keep some of our virtual programs because they've been fun, and we reach a different audience who may not always be able to come in with us. You'll notice that I'm wearing a flower crown, and I wore it last year in our video too. I didn't make this. This is from our friends, the Rustic Mechanicals, our Shakespeare troupe here in West Virginia, who will be coming to Valley Park later in the summer for summer reading. So sneak peek there of some of our summer reading program. But maybe next year, maybe we'll make flower crowns. So if there's a craft you want us to do, or different ways to be using your book pages or anything like that, let us know. We, you know, love collaborating with you, and we love being with you in this format, and also as we are able to be more in person. And outside, we're doing in-person story time. If the rain and the snow would let us, our branches have been able to do it the last few weeks. We've gotten one at Maine at Valley Park, and then it's been raining and snowing in April. Thanks, Mother Nature. I think for Earth Week, Mother Earth wanted us to experience all 4 seasons. So we are doing that this week. So thank you for joining us today for our upcycled book crafts. Like I said, we did our terracotta pots, with book pages and our stencil art. And if you want to watch last year's tutorial about the paper hydrangeas and the paper trees, go ahead and check that out too. So thank you all for joining us. Make sure you are tuning in at 4 for Miss Renee and Chicken Chat. We love Chicken Chat. She literally sits outside with her chickens. And then at 6 tonight on Instagram, over on Instagram, we are doing sustainable thrifting. Buying secondhand is another way to reuse the resources that we already have. So check that out. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Kimberly's saying, trying to figure out crafts using some of the items around the house, empty milk jugs, empty cereal boxes. Ooh, cereal box art. Talk to us about that. We've had that in programs in the past, and we can definitely help out with that. That's a lot of fun. So yes, thank you for joining us, and we will be with you soon. So make sure you check out the rest of Earth Day programming. Happy Earth Day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.